Good morning, everybody. So, to finish out the week, I'd like to continue practicing your pinch pots and your pinch pot meditations. So, most of you have completed your first pinch pot or have gotten it very close to completion. That's great. And now you're going to start making your second one to match. So I recommend that you try to get the same amount of clay, which is probably about the size of a golf ball. And you're going to start off exactly the same way. Make sure you have a nice compact ball. You're going to start with your thumb, pressing down very slowly and going as slowly as you possibly can around the piece of clay, and try to make it a meditation. In fact, you can even close your eyes. You can go to a place that's the most comfortable place for you in your house or outside, and put on some music if that helps you relax, and just try and create a basic pinch pot. When you first start this, don't worry so much about getting it to match the other one. If you start thinking about that too soon, you can get too self-conscious about it and it could sabotage you. So it's better to just proceed the same way you did before, keeping it in your hand, not putting it on the table, and go as slowly as you possibly can. And then as soon as you see a crack, you're going to repair it with a little bit of water. And if the crack is super big, you're going to stuff it with some soft clay. So you're using soft clay as to patch the larger cracks. You're also going to be compacting your lip on the table, or you can also use your thumb. Okay, so that's just a review of what we've previously talked about and what you've previously practiced. Once you get it to be I would say about 75% pinched, like the walls are pretty even, then you're going to start thinking about how your size and shape match up. Okay, so a couple of things to do to get them to match up is to make sure that the lips are aligned. So if the lips are lined up pretty well, this is the lip, and if the lips are lined up pretty well, they match, then you're in good shape. Sometimes all it takes is just a little bit of pressing or pulling out to make minor adjustments, or a little bit pulling in to make minor adjustments to get the lips to line up. Another thing to think about is, do the bases line up? So if those are lining up and the lips are lining up, chances are you're pretty close to the same size and shape. Another thing to think about is the height. So when you put it on the table, from the top of the lip to the bottom, are those pretty equal? One other thing to think about, and it's also a good thing to know, is to think about the profile of your piece. The profile of your piece is if you just drew a line from the lip to the foot. This is the foot, this is the lip. So if you just drew a line or held a stick or a pencil across there, you would see that that is actually a diagonal line, right? So I have a diagonal profile because my base is more narrow than my lips. Now, some of you, I noticed, have really quite wide, a base is pretty wide, and that's probably due to maybe putting it on the table when it was a little wet while you were working on it, and the bottom spread quite wide. So in that case, it is likely that let's just use this cup as an example, it is likely that if you drew a line from the top to the bottom, it's more of a vertical profile. So those are just things to think about while you're trying to match your shapes. Now, another thing I want to mention is it's a little challenging to get to match up, and there's no question about that. And sometimes it requires making more than two pieces. In this case, I actually had to make 3 bowls before I found 2 that matched pretty well. And I've had students present the determination to complete this project by actually making up to 6 small pinch pots at school. So if you have to make more than 3, that's generally a normal process. So don't feel like, oh gosh, my things aren't matching up and I have to make another one. That's totally normal. Okay. And it's good practice. So again, this is a pinch pot practicing exercise, and it's also helping you to meditate while you're doing it and to focus. And at some point, it'll start becoming very relaxing, hopefully. Okay, so the way the week is going to finish out is, I'm looking at the calendar here. The way the week is going to finish out is, I was initially going to have you turn these in on Tuesday and Wednesday, but I think instead I want to give you plenty of time to accomplish this. So I'm not going to have them due until later on in the week, and I'll post your official due date on Schoology. And I think I'm going to also offer an extra credit assignment that if you do accomplish your 2 bowls and you're pretty satisfied with it and you turn in your rubric, you can also create a larger bowl using rather than a small piece of clay that is about a golf ball, you're going to use a larger piece of clay, which is going to be about the size of a tennis ball. And then you should be able to get a much larger bowl, like a cereal bowl, and that should be pretty fun. So I think that's all I need to tell you for today. Again, I'm not going to be able to meet with you on Tuesday because my power is going to be down, and that's why I'm making this video for you. And I want you to do this as a meditation, go super slowly, and then the next time your track meets, that would be A, B, and C on Thursday, and D on Friday. I'm gonna check in with you and troubleshoot and see if there's any way I could help you. Okay, I hope you're having a great week, and I'll see you guys later on in the week. Take care.